Bro, my friend left the call. I'm gonna start recording this like on my actual like a recording. Dog. Like my dog. How did I eliminate myself? Not sure. But any other console players out there? I'd love to hear it. I think I have Minecraft Dungeons and a Yoshi egg. Let's go check. Come on, dog. Yep, we have it. Baby girl. She's somewhere. Oh well. Okay, let's take my colors live. Let's take my colors live game card out. Man, I love this game. Man, how I love this game. Then let's take that. Then put Minecraft Dungeons in. And then boom. So I figured out how to actually set it correctly without having to lose my phone balance every 5 seconds. But I have not, actually. Okay, there we go. That should be good enough, right? Yeah, that's good enough. What happens if I archive data? Does it like delete or something? I don't want to lose my Fortnite stuff. I'm gonna regret this, aren't I? My Fortnite. I'm not actually crying, y'all. I just have a stuffy nose. See, I ain't crying. Child, you locked yourself out there. 29 minutes remaining, 1%. Oh my fucking god. Oh my fucking god, bro. I'm gonna be honest, like, I have nothing to do well now. What? I don't know, I'm just messing with the settings while I wait for Minecraft Dungeons to load. Album. Ooh. Sunset. Post. Only this one. I don't have a Facebook account. Lol. Okay, I'm gonna wait for that to load.
What's the worst punishment your parents ever gave you? They made me shut up for 48 hours and it completely destroyed my life. I was 16 and had a problem keeping my mouth shut.
22 minutes remaining.
Not in a funny way either. I was that kid who had to comment on everything. If someone wore something weird, I'd say it. If a teacher messed up, I'd correct them loud enough for everyone to hear. My parents warned me constantly to think before I spoke, but I never listened. The breaking point came during Sunday dinner at my aunt's house. My cousin Jake had just gotten rejected from State University. While everyone was trying to comfort him, I decided to open my big mouth. I told him he was basically a waste of space and that maybe community college was more his speed anyway. The entire table went silent. Jake's face turned red and he left the room. My parents didn't yell. They didn't ground me. Instead, my mom pulled out this tiny notebook from her purse and slid it across the table. For the next 48 hours, you're not allowed to speak. Anything you want to say goes in here. I laughed because I thought they were joking. They weren't. The rules were simple. No talking at school, no talking at home, not even to our dog Max. If I needed something, I had to write it down. I tried to argue, but my dad just pointed at the notebook. So I wrote, "This is stupid," and showed it to them. My mom just smiled and said the clock started now. Monday morning was rough. I couldn't answer when teachers called on me, so I got detention. During group projects, I couldn't contribute, so my partners got annoyed. When my friend Tyler asked why I was being weird, I tried to whisper the explanation. Big mistake. My mom somehow found out and took away my PlayStation for the rest of the week. By lunch, I was miserable. Some kid named Brandon spilled chocolate milk on my shoes and blamed me for tripping him. Normally, I would have roasted him in front of everyone, but instead I just sat there writing furiously in my notebook while he laughed with his friends. I couldn't defend myself. I couldn't do anything. That afternoon in history class, our teacher, Mr. Collins, asked me a direct question about World War II. I just stared at him, unable to respond. He thought I was being disrespectful and gave me another detention. I wanted to explain so badly that my hands were shaking as I wrote in the notebook. At home, things got worse. My little brother Danny kept asking me questions, trying to get me to break. When I wouldn't respond, he started making up lies about me to my parents. Usually I'd shut him down immediately, but I couldn't say anything. I filled 3 pages with angry rants about how unfair this was. Tuesday was even harder. The silence was eating at me. I watched conversations happen around me that I desperately wanted to join. During lunch, I overheard some girls talking about how quiet I'd been lately. One of them said maybe I was finally growing up. That stung more than any insult ever had. The worst part was watching how people reacted when I couldn't interrupt them. My friend Sarah was telling a story about her weekend, and for once, she got to finish without me jumping in with my own story. She seemed so much happier. My mom was on the phone with my grandmother, having this long conversation without me butting in to correct details or add my own comments. I started noticing things I'd never seen before, like how Jake's shoulders slumped whenever someone mentioned college, how my dad's face looked tired when people argued at dinner, how many times I usually cut people off mid-sentence. The notebook was filling up with observations instead of complaints. Wednesday night, my parents sat down with me at the kitchen table. The 48 hours were officially over. They handed me the notebook and said I could talk again, but for the first time in my life, I didn't know what to say. I just sat there, flipping through pages of things I'd wanted to scream but realized I shouldn't have. The first words I spoke were, "I'm sorry," to Jake over the phone. He was surprised to hear from me, but he accepted the apology. My parents didn't give me some big speech about learning my lesson. They just said I could keep the notebook if I wanted to. What's the worst punishment you're...
I found my stuff in garbage bags at the gate. Mom stood there with my siblings. "You're 25, get out now." I smiled, got in my car, and drove away. 6 months later, Mom sent 60 messages. "Where are you?" I pulled into the driveway after a 12-hour shift at the hospital and immediately knew something was wrong. 5 black garbage bags sat at the gate like grotesque sentinels. My mother stood on the porch, arms crossed, flanked by my younger siblings Marcus and Vanessa, both wearing matching smirks. "What's going on?" I called out, my scrubs still smelling of antiseptic. "You're 25, Dante," Mom said flatly. "Get out now." I stared at the bags, then at her. "Are you serious?" "Dead serious. You've had a free ride long enough. Time to be a real adult," Marcus snickered. "About time she kicked you out." The thing is, I'd been paying rent. Not much, just $400 monthly, but combined with groceries I bought and utilities I covered when Mom's account ran short, I'd contributed over $8,000 in the past year alone. I even got the bank statements to prove it. But standing there, looking at my childhood home, at the woman who raised me, something clicked. I wasn't angry, I was calm, eerily calm. "Okay," I said simply. Mom blinked. "Okay? Yeah, okay." I walked to the bags, checking contents. Clothes, books, my laptop, my grandfather's watch. Everything important was there, hastily thrown together but present. I loaded the bags into my car, one by one. Vanessa filmed it on her phone, probably for TikTok. Marcus kept making comments about how I was finally leaving the nest. Mom just stood there, waiting for me to beg, to argue, to give her the drama she wanted. Instead, I closed my trunk, turned to face them, and smiled. "Thanks for packing everything so carefully." I got in my car and drove away. I didn't look back once. What they didn't know was that I'd been preparing for this moment for months. Mom's resentment had been building since I'd refused to co-sign a loan for Marcus's failed crypto investment. The spare bedroom at my girlfriend Keisha's place had been waiting. I had savings, I had options, I had peace. The first week, nothing. Radio silence. I changed my emergency contact at work, updated
16 more minutes.
my address, forwarded my mail. I blocked Marcus and Vanessa on everything. I left Mom's number unblocked, just in case. 2 weeks in, a single text. "You could at least check in." I didn't respond. A month later,
No,
Keisha and I
smile.
moved into our own apartment. 1 bedroom, hardwood floors,
Monica.
a kitchen where sunlight poured through the windows. I got promoted to senior nurse, started training for a marathon, built a life that didn't include walking on eggshells. Then month 6 arrived and my phone exploded. 67 messages. 67. Where are you? Your brother needs help. Family emergency. Why are you ignoring me? I'm your mother. Vanessa is asking about you.
She was
Marcus made a
6'7".
mistake and needs money. We need to talk about your attitude. You can't just abandon your family. The least you could do is call. I scrolled through them all, watching the tone shift from demanding to desperate, to manipulative to angry, and back to desperate. The final message read, I don't understand why you're being so cold. I raised you better than this. That's when I understood. They hadn't kicked me out because they didn't need me. They'd kicked me out because they thought I needed them more. They thought I'd come crawling back within days, broken and apologetic, ready to be their safety net again. They were wrong. I typed one message back. You told me to get out. I got out. You told me to be a real adult. I became one. You don't get to demand my presence after throwing away my things like garbage. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, living exactly how you said I...
I need to charge my phone. Holy shit.
What messed you up for the rest of your life? When I was 10, I had this huge fight with my sister Amy over the TV remote. We were watching different
Veronica.
shows and she wanted to change the channel. I told her no, it was my turn to pick. She rolled her eyes and said, just shut up and go away, you're being annoying. That was it. She barely even touched me when she said it, maybe nudged my shoulder a little. But I was so angry, so humiliated that she dismissed me like that. I stormed into the kitchen where my parents were making dinner, tears streaming down my face, and I told them the biggest lie of my life. Amy hit me really hard with her hairbrush, I sobbed. She threw it at my back and it really hurt. The truth was, she never touched... What messed you up for the rest of your life? When I was 10, I had this huge fight with my sister Amy over the TV remote. We were watching different shows and she wanted to change the channel. I told her no, it was my turn to pick. She rolled her eyes and said, just shut up and go away, you're being annoying. That was it. She barely even touched me when she said it, maybe nudged my shoulder a little. But I was so angry, so humiliated that she dismissed me like that. I stormed into the kitchen where my parents were making dinner, tears streaming down my face, and I told them the biggest lie of my life. Amy hit me really hard with her hairbrush, I sobbed. She threw it at my back and it really hurt. The truth was, she never touched me with any hairbrush. She didn't even have one in her hands. But I wanted her to get in trouble so bad that I didn't care about lying. What I didn't know was that Amy had been having problems with my parents for months. They thought she was getting too rebellious, talking back too much, spending too much time on the phone with friends. My mom especially thought Amy was becoming this manipulative teenager who couldn't be trusted. My lie was the final straw. My dad's face went completely red when I told him what happened. He marched straight to Amy's room and started yelling. They grounded her for an entire month, took away her phone, banned her from hanging out with friends, and said she was becoming violent and dangerous. The worst part was when my dad took her bedroom door off the hinges that same night. He said if she was going to act like an animal, she'd lose her privacy until she learned to behave. I remember walking past her doorway that night and seeing her crying on her bed. She looked at me and whispered, "You ruined my life. I hope you're happy now." I actually laughed. I thought she was being dramatic like all teenagers do. I felt proud that I'd gotten her in trouble. In my 10-year-old brain, I'd won. But Amy changed after that night. She stopped talking to me completely. She barely spoke to our parents. She'd come home from school and go straight to her room, which didn't have a door anymore. She stopped eating dinner with us. She just became this ghost, living in our house. 2 months later, I woke up and Amy was gone. She'd left a note on the kitchen table that just said, "I can't stay here anymore. Don't look for me." My parents called the police, but they said she was a runaway and there wasn't much they could do unless she committed a crime. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. We never found her. The stress of losing Amy destroyed my parents' marriage. They blamed each other, fought constantly about who was too strict or too lenient. They divorced when I was 12. For years, I convinced myself that Amy was just being a dramatic teenager, that she'd run away because she couldn't handle being grounded, that it had nothing to do with my lie. I pushed it so far down that I almost forgot what really happened. Then when I was 23, I got a Facebook message from an account I didn't recognize. The profile picture was just a sunset. No name I could see clearly. The message said, "This is Amy. I'm not using my real name anymore. I legally changed it years ago. I'm living in Oregon now. I've been in women's shelters, on friends' couches, in some really bad relationships with people who hurt me. All because the people who were supposed to protect me didn't believe in me. All because of the lie you told when you were 10. My hands were shaking as I read it. She continued, "I know you were just a kid, but that lie destroyed everything for me. Mom and Dad never trusted me again." After that. Every time something went wrong in the house, they blamed me. Every time I tried to tell them something, they said I was making it up. So I left, because staying was killing me. I immediately typed back, begging her to let me make it right. I offered to fly out to Oregon, to bring her home, to tell our parents the truth, to do anything to fix what I'd broken. She never replied. I sent dozens of messages over the next few weeks. All of them went unread. The account eventually disappeared completely. What messed you up for the rest of your life?
Who's the dumbest criminal you've ever seen? My ex-husband Derek broke into my house 4 times before I finally invested in a security system. Not to steal anything, just to prove he could. The first time, he moved all my furniture 2 inches to the left so I'd walk into everything in the dark. The second time, he unplugged my refrigerator and let everything spoil. The third time, he stood over my bed while I slept and took photos on his phone with his willy out. I only knew because he texted them to me the next morning with a message that said, "You look peaceful when you dream." I could have done anything. The fourth time, he stole my daughter Mia's stuffed rabbit, the one she'd had since birth, and sent me ransom photos of it tied to a chair like some demented hostage situation. The police were sympathetic but useless. Detective Paulson kept telling me to document everything. Get a security system, he suggested after the rabbit incident. One with cameras and remote monitoring. Make it impossible for him to claim he wasn't there. So I did. I spent $3,200 I didn't have on a Safeguard Solutions premium package with 12 cameras, motion sensors on every door and window, and a smart lock system that could be controlled from my phone. The technician who installed it was a guy named Kevin, who looked at the fading bruises on my arms and didn't ask questions he already knew the answers to. Kevin spent 3 hours showing me how everything worked, but I was too exhausted to absorb most of it. He showed me the app, the arming sequences, the notification settings, the live feed access. I nodded like I understood while my brain cataloged everything that could go wrong. Kevin must have sensed my overwhelm because he simplified everything down to the basics. Red button arms the system when you leave, green button disarms it when you come home. If anything moves inside while it's armed, the police get called automatically. Simple enough, right? Except it wasn't simple at all. The first night, I set off the alarm at 2:17 a.m. by walking to the bathroom and forgetting the system was armed in stay mode, which apparently was different from away mode, and I'd mixed them up. The siren was loud enough to wake my 7-year-old daughter Mia, who came running into the hallway sobbing that daddy had come back. I couldn't remember the disarm code. My hands were shaking so badly I kept entering the wrong numbers. The police called while the alarm was still screaming, and I couldn't answer because I was trying to shut it off and comfort Mia simultaneously. 2 officers showed up 8 minutes later looking annoyed to find a confused woman in pajamas apologizing profusely for the false alarm. Officer Denise Kim was patient about it. These systems take time to learn. You'll get the hang of it. But her partner, a younger guy named Officer Troy Baskin, couldn't hide his irritation. 4th false alarm we've responded to this week, ma'am. Maybe read the manual next time before you waste our resources. I just apologized again and promised it wouldn't happen again. Kevin from Safeguard called the next morning after getting an alert about the false alarm. He offered to come back and give me another tutorial. No charge. I told him I was fine, that I'd figured it out, even though I absolutely hadn't. The second false alarm happened 3 days later when I came home from dropping Mia at school and forgot to disarm the system before opening the front door. The shrieking started immediately, and I panicked, pressing buttons randomly on my phone until something worked. The police were already on their way by the time I got it silenced. Officer Kim showed up alone this time, and her patience had worn thinner. Ms. Vance, you're going to get fined if this keeps happening. The city charges $150 for repeat false alarms. I know the system is new, but you need to take the time to learn it properly. I nodded and apologized and felt like the stupidest person alive. That evening, I tried to go through the manual Kevin had left, but the technical language made my eyes glaze over and my anxiety spike. The third false alarm was the breaking point. I'd been carrying groceries inside and set them down to disarm the system, but apparently there was a 60-second window and I'd taken 70 seconds and the alarm triggered anyway. This time, Officer Baskin responded with a partner I hadn't met before, and they were both openly hostile. "This is ridiculous, ma'am. If you can't handle a basic security system, maybe you shouldn't have one. You're pulling us away from real emergencies." The humiliation burned through my chest. I apologized and explained I was still learning and promised it wouldn't happen again. After they left, I sat on my kitchen floor and cried while Mia ate cereal for dinner because I couldn't pull myself together enough to cook. That night, I made a decision that would turn out to be either the luckiest or dumbest thing I'd ever done, depending on how you looked at it. I turned the system off, not completely off, because Derek still terrified me and I needed something between us. But I disabled all the motion sensors and alerts except for the cameras. The cameras would keep recording to the cloud storage, Kevin had explained, even if the alarm system was disarmed. And what happened then changed everything. Full story is linked below or on my channel.
Damn.
Could a 100-pound dumbbell stop a bullet? I'm gonna shoot this dumbbell with higher and higher caliber bullets all the way up to a 50 cal and see what it can stop. Good luck, bud. Starting out with a 9 mil. All right, bullet hit right here. Put a pretty good mark on the dumbbell, but really just bounced right off. But it's fine. Next up, 10 mil. All right, the bullet hit right here. Put a little bit bigger mark, but didn't do much. Next up, we got the revolver, shooting around a 44 Magnum. All right, the bullet hit right here, put another little mark, but really didn't do much. Fred's still fine. Moving up to the Desert Eagle, shooting around a 50 AE. All right, the bullet hit right here, took out a small chunk, but it really just bounced right off. Moving up to the 12 gauge, shooting a slug. Our slug hit right here. It did put our first little crater in it, but it just bounced off. Fred's still okay. Moving up to the AR, shooting around a green tip 5.56. Our bullet came in right here. It went really deep into the dumbbell, but did not make it all the way through. Moving up to the 450 Bushmaster. All right, our bullet put a little crater in our dumbbell, but it did not go through. Moving up to the Gold Scar, shooting around a 308. All right, our 308 put a big mark in the dumbbell right here. Still nothing out the back. Moving up to the Silver Tip 50 cal. Right. Our bullet knocked our 100-pound dumbbell back here. It just embedded itself in the dumbbell and did not go all the way through. Fred's still fine.
You sure he's fine?
Could a 100-pound dumbbell stop a bullet? I'm gonna shoot this dumbbell with...
I told my sister to get over her daughter's achievements. My sister Jamie has this daughter Isabel who's like 8 years old. Don't get me wrong, Isabel's a sweet kid, but Jamie acts like she invented the wheel every time Isabel does literally anything. Isabel draws a stick figure. Jamie posts it on Facebook like it's the Mona Lisa. Isabel ties her shoes. Jamie's calling everyone in the family to announce the breaking news. Last month at our cousin's graduation party, Jamie hijacked the entire celebration to show everyone Isabel's spelling test, where she got a B+. While our cousin was trying to give a speech about getting into med school, Jamie was literally pulling out her phone going, "Wait, everyone has to see this. Isabel spelled elephant correctly." But the real breaking point came 2 weeks ago at my dad's birthday dinner. We're all sitting at this nice restaurant, Dad's about to blow out his candles, when Jamie starts this whole production about how Isabel learned to ride her bike without training wheels that morning. She made the waiter take like 15 pictures of Isabel pretending to blow out Grandpa's candles because she helped make this day special too. My dad just sat there awkwardly while his birthday became the Isabel show. Again, that's when I snapped. I pulled Jamie aside and told her straight up, "You need to get over Isabel's achievements. Not everything is about your kid. It's Dad's birthday, not Isabel's talent showcase." Her face went bright red and she started yelling about how I was jealous that I didn't have kids and how dare I minimize her daughter's accomplishments. She grabbed Isabel and stormed out screaming that I'd regret ever disrespecting her family. I figured she'd get over it in a few days.
We got mouse bread. Mouse bread. Mouse got into bread. Mouse got into the bread. I'll throw it away. Can't even hear her and I don't care.
Like she always does. But then weird stuff started happening. My work got calls saying I was a child abuser who shouldn't be around kids. Someone posted my address on Facebook mom groups saying I was a dangerous person who threatened children. My landlord got an anonymous tip that I was running an illegal daycare and dealing drugs. The police showed up at my apartment at 6 in the morning with a warrant to search for evidence of child endangerment. My neighbors were all standing in their doorways watching me get questioned in my pajamas. Then my boss called me into his office. Apparently someone had emailed my company's HR department with evidence that I was unstable and violent toward children. They had screenshots of fake text messages, and even a doctored audio recording of me supposedly threatening a kid. I got suspended pending investigation. My reputation was completely destroyed in my small town. People were crossing the street to avoid me. The grocery store clerk wouldn't even make eye contact. But Jamie made one crucial mistake. She got too confident and started bragging to our cousin about her brilliant plan to teach me a lesson. Turns out our cousin was recording their phone call for some unrelated family drama documentation. In the recording, Jamie admits to creating fake evidence, filing false police reports, and deliberately trying to get me fired and evicted. She even laughs about how easy it was to fool everyone and how she hoped I'd end up homeless and jobless. I took that recording straight to the police. Turns out filing false reports is a felony. So is harassment, defamation, and attempting to interfere with someone's employment through fraudulent means. The detective assigned to my case was actually the same guy who had searched my apartment. He was not happy about being used in Jamie's revenge plot. They arrested her the next day while she was at Isabel's soccer practice in front of all the other moms she'd been gossiping to. She ended up pleading guilty to avoid jail time but got 3 years probation, had to pay restitution for my lost wages, and has a permanent record. Her husband filed for divorce 2 months later because he couldn't handle being married to someone who would destroy family over a simple comment about parenting. The court ordered her to attend anger management classes and parenting courses. Guess she finally gets to learn about appropriate ways to handle her daughter's achievements. Isabel lives with her dad now, and honestly seems way happier without all the constant pressure to be Jamie's little performance monkey. I told my sister to get over her daughter.
Performance monkey?
What's the family secret that you're not supposed to know about? My Uncle Wade supposedly died in a boating accident before I was even born. My whole life, there was the... Hey! What's the family secret that you're not supposed to know about? My Uncle Wade supposedly died in a boating accident before I was even born. My whole life, there was this huge framed photo of him in our hallway. My dad kept fresh flowers under it every single week without fail. Everyone called Wade the kind one, the adventurer, the brother my dad never got over losing. I grew up hearing stories about how amazing he was and how tragic it was that he drowned so young. When I was 17, I was helping my mom clean out the garage because we were finally getting rid of old junk. Shoved behind some Christmas decorations, I found this ancient camcorder with a tape still inside. The battery was completely dead, so I took it to my room and charged it for like 3 hours. I was bored and curious, so I hit play. The first few minutes were just random birthday footage from the 90s. Some kid blowing out candles, people laughing in the background. Pretty boring stuff. But then the camera turned, and I saw him. Wade, sitting on a couch, laughing at something off camera. He looked older than in the hallway photo. Way older. And then I saw it. The that date stamped in the corner of the video. It was from 6 years after he supposedly died. My stomach dropped. I rewound it 3 times to make sure I wasn't seeing things wrong. Same date, same face. He was alive in that video, years after the boating accident that killed him. I ran downstairs with the camcorder still in my hands. My mom was folding laundry in the living room. I shoved the screen in her face and asked her to explain what I was seeing. The color drained from her face instantly. She didn't try to lie or make excuses. She just stared at the screen for a long time, then whispered, "Don't ever show that to your father." That was it. No explanation. Just a warning. She wouldn't say anything else no matter how much I pushed. She just kept folding the same towel over and over, not looking at me. I couldn't let it go. Over the next few weeks, I started digging. I went through my grandparents' old photo albums when I visited them. In a few pictures from family events, there were blurry figures in the background that looked exactly like Wade. Once you knew to look for him, you could see him hiding in plain sight. I tried asking my dad directly once. Big mistake. He completely shut down, told me never to bring up Wade again, and left the room. I'd never seen him that angry. Finally, I called my Aunt Rebecca. She lived 3 states away and barely ever visited. We talked for almost 2 hours. At first, she dodged my questions, but eventually she broke down crying and told me everything. Wade didn't die in a boating accident. When I was a baby, Wade was living with us. He'd started showing signs of paranoid schizophrenia, but my dad didn't want to believe it. One night, Wade had a complete mental breakdown. He thought I was possessed by something evil. He took me from my crib and tried to drown me in the bathtub. My dad heard me screaming and broke down the bathroom door. He pulled me out of the water just in time. After that night, my dad secretly sent Wade to a long-term psychiatric facility in another state, but he couldn't handle the shame of it. Couldn't handle people knowing his brother had tried to kill his daughter. So he told everyone Wade died in a boating accident. Only my parents, my grandparents, and Rebecca knew the truth. They all agreed to keep the lie going to protect me and avoid judgment from everyone else. Wade actually died for real about 8 years ago in that facility, but my dad never changed the story. He just kept the flowers coming, kept the photo up, kept pretending Wade drowned decades ago as this perfect tragic figure instead of the mentally ill man who almost murdered me. I confronted my mom again after talking to Rebecca. She admitted everything, said my dad made everyone promise to never tell me. He wanted to protect me from the trauma I was too young to remember, but really, he was protecting himself from the guilt. What's the family secret that you're not supposed to know about? My Uncle Wade supposedly died in a boating accident.
At my high school graduation, my twin brother whispered, "The cops are coming for you tomorrow." I made sure. All the evidence points to you. I froze mid-handshake with Principal Hayes. My twin brother Kane stood next to me smiling for our mom's camera, like he hadn't just destroyed my life. The school break-in, the stolen laptops, it's all pointing to you now. They're coming tomorrow morning. His voice was calm, almost cheerful. I finally found a way to get Mom and Dad's attention. The next morning, 3 police officers knocked with a search warrant. They found everything. $3,000 in cash in my closet, a burner phone with texts about moving the merchandise, and getting paid for the laptops. "This isn't mine," I shouted. "Vero Sterling, you're under arrest." They handcuffed me while Mom sobbed and Kane watched with fake concern. At the station, they processed me. Fingerprints, mugshot, orange jumpsuit. The next morning, they assigned me a public defender. Mr. Wolf carried a briefcase held together with duct tape. "They found a storage unit rented in your name with all the stolen laptops," he said. "Your fingerprints are on them. There's $2,800 deposited in your account. Your car's GPS shows trips to the facility. My twin brother and I share that car. He framed me. Can you prove that?" I couldn't. "Bail is $20,000. Your arraignment is in 6 days. The prosecutor is offering 3 years. Take it." "I'm pleading not guilty," I said, "and I'm going to prove my innocence." I stayed in jail. My parents didn't even try to post bail. I had 15 minutes of phone time per day. I used every second. First call went to Principal Hayes. "Your brother came to see me 3 weeks ago," Hayes said. "He was worried about you. Said you'd been acting strange, talking about needing money. He showed me text messages. Those are fake. He has autism and everyone believes him, but he's lying. Your brother can't lie like that, Vero. The police found evidence in your room, not his." I believe Kane. He hung up. The next day, I called the storage facility. The manager, Rick, barely listened. "Yeah, I already told the cops. You rented the unit. Came here 4 or 5 times. I identified you from a photo. I have an identical twin. It could have been him. Our security footage got corrupted. Hard drive crashed 2 weeks ago. I can't help you, kid." Day 3, I called my best friend Dante. "Kane came to my house," Dante said. "Showed me screenshots of you researching how to bypass school security systems." He was crying, man. "Those are fake. He framed me. Just take the deal. 3 years is better than 10. Your brother's trying to help you." He hung up. I called my parents on day 4. Mom answered crying. "Kane's been beside himself with worry," she said. "He barely sleeps. He keeps saying he should have done more to help you." "Mom, he's lying. He told me at graduation. Your brother has autism, Vero. He's not capable of this kind of manipulation. We found the money in your room. Please, just take the deal." Day 5, Mr. Wolf called me. "The prosecutor found your fingerprints on all 15 laptops. They're not budging. If you go to trial and lose, you're looking at 10 years minimum." "I didn't do this." "Then prove it tomorrow, because right now, all I see is a guilty verdict." The arraignment was at 2 p.m. They transported me from jail in handcuffs and an orange jumpsuit. I sat next to Mr. Wolf at the defense table. Mom, Dad, and Kane sat in the gallery. Kane looked sympathetic, dabbing at his eyes. Judge Wright entered. Everyone stood. "The people versus Vero Sterling. How does the defendant plead?" I stood. "Not guilty, Your Honor." Mom gasped. Mr. Wolf sighed like I just signed my own death warrant. "I need to say something. My twin brother Kane framed me. He planted all the evidence. He told me at graduation he did it to get our parents' attention." Kane stood up, crying. "Why are you doing this to me? I tried to help you." "Sit down," Judge Wright said sharply. She looked at me. "Do you have proof of these accusations?" "No, Your Honor." But the courtroom door flew open. Phoenix Mars from my graduating class burst in, holding his phone and breathing hard. "Your Honor, I have proof Vero didn't do this." Judge Wright frowned. "Young man, you can't just— Please, I have time-stamped proof he was with me when the break-in happened." She waved him forward. Phoenix showed her his phone. Photos of me at his dining room table playing Magic: The Gathering. Each one time-stamped
throughout the night. The break-in was Friday, May 8th at 2:51 a.m., Phoenix said. Vera was at my house from 7 p.m. until 4:30 a.m. for our monthly all-night tournament. 7 other people were there. I have all their contact information. Judge Wright studied the photos showing me there all night. She looked at the prosecutor. Do you have any evidence placing the defendant at the school during the break-in? No, Your Honor, but the circumstantial evidence isn't enough. Judge Wright turned to Kane. Stand up, young man. Did you rent that storage unit in your brother's name? Kane was shaking, pale. I just wanted them to notice me. The courtroom exploded. Judge Wright banged her gavel. Bailiff, detain Mr. Kane. You're under arrest for theft, perjury, evidence tampering, and fraud. All charges against Vero Sterling are dismissed. I collapsed, sobbing, while they handcuffed Kane and led him away. At my high school graduation, my twin brother whispered, "The cops are coming for you tomorrow." I made sure.
Dog.
My parents sold my gaming setup without asking, but didn't expect what I'd find in the buyer's messages. I came home to an empty desk, my $4,000 PC gone. I'd spent 3 years building that rig. Every component handpicked. RTX 3090, custom water cooling, the works. Paid for with freelance work editing videos for small businesses. My mom was in the kitchen making coffee like nothing happened. "Where's my computer?" I asked, trying to stay calm. "We sold it," she said. "Your sister needed a new wardrobe for college, and we didn't have the money." "You what?" "That's mine. I built that." She shrugged. "You live under our roof. We can sell what we need to." I felt my face go hot. "That's not how this works. I use that for work. My freelance clients depend on it. I have 3 projects due this week." She waved me off. "You're being dramatic. It's just a computer. Use your laptop." "That laptop is 7 years old. It can't even run the editing software I need." My dad walked in and sided with her immediately. "Stop making a scene. Your sister's future is more important than your games." "This isn't about games," I said, my voice shaking. "This is my income. How am I supposed to pay my share of groceries now?" "You contribute when you're asked," he said. End of discussion. Meanwhile, my sister walked in wearing a designer jacket that probably cost $800 alone. "Thanks, Mom," she said, twirling around. I couldn't even look at her. I went to my room and stared at the empty corner where my setup used to be. 3 years of saving, gone in one afternoon because my sister wanted to look good at orientation. This wasn't the first time either. When I was 16, they sold my guitar to pay for her dance competition trip. When I was 19, they took money from my savings account without asking to cover her spring break in Cancun. I'd always let it slide.
Sorry, I put bread on my phone.
I figured that's just how families work, but this was different. This was my livelihood. I opened my old laptop and it took 10 minutes just to boot up. I tried loading my current project and it crashed twice. I was going to miss my deadline and lose a $1,200 contract. I started digging through my email, found the Craigslist posting my parents had made. "Gaming PC, barely used, asking $1,200. The buyer had left his number. I messaged him on Facebook. "Hey, I'm the son. This is going to sound crazy, but that computer was mine."
My grandmother enrolled me in clinical drug trials starting at age 6. She's been collecting pharmaceutical.
My parents sold my gaming setup without. He set it up at my place. "I understand," I said. "Just needed to know what happened." Then he sent the buyer had left his number. I messaged him on Facebook. "Hey, I'm the son. This is going to sound crazy, but that computer was mine. My parents sold it without permission. Is there any way we can work something out?" He responded fast. "Whoa, man, I had no idea. That's messed up. I feel bad for the situation, but I already set it up at my place." "I understand," I said. "Just needed to know what happened." Then he sent screenshots. "Wait, before you go, you should see what your parents told me." My stomach dropped. They had listed it as our old family computer that we were getting rid of because we upgraded to something better. No mention that it was mine. No mention that I'd built it myself. They sold it for $1,200, a quarter of what it was worth. But that wasn't even the worst part. The buyer sent one more screenshot. "Your mom messaged me this morning saying if her son contacts you, tell him it broke during shipping and you got a refund. She wanted me to lie to you." I stared at my phone screen. They didn't just sell my computer. They planned the whole thing. They knew I'd look for it. They knew I'd find the buyer, and they coached him to cover their tracks. That meant they sold it days ago, maybe even a week, and just waited for the right moment to move it out of my room. I went downstairs, shaking. The screenshots pulled up on my phone. I showed my mom the messages. She barely glanced at them. "So what? We were protecting you from getting upset." "Too late for that," I said. "And you were going to have him lie to me? Tell me it broke in shipping?" She crossed her arms. "We did what we thought was best. You would have made a bigger scene if you knew the truth." Unbelievable. I turned to my dad. "You're okay with this?" He sighed deeply. "Look, your sister needed help. We helped her. You can build another computer." "Another one?" I repeated. "Each part in that PC took me months to find and afford, and you sold it for scraps." My sister finally spoke up from the couch. "Why are you being so selfish? It's just stuff." I turned to her. "You have $1,500 worth of clothes in your room right now that you didn't pay for, and you're calling me selfish?" She rolled her eyes. "Whatever. You'll get over it." That's when something in me snapped. I pulled up my banking app and showed my parents the screen. "See this? This is my freelance account. I make about $2,000 a month from video editing. Guess who's not paying rent anymore? If you can sell my work equipment, I'm not contributing another cent." My dad's face went red. "You can't do that. Watch me," I said. "I'm finding my own place by the end of the month, and when I'm gone, don't expect me at family dinners or holidays or graduations." My mom tried to backtrack. "We can talk about this." "There's nothing to talk about," I said, heading back upstairs. "You made your choice." My parents sold my gaming setup without asking, but didn't expect what I'd find in the buyer's messages. I came home to an empty desk, my $4,000 PC gone. I'd spent 3 years building that rig, every component handpicked. RTX 30.
My grandmother enrolled me in clinical drug trials starting at age 6. She's been collecting pharmaceutical payments on my body for 12 years. The pill was blue this time, oval-shaped, with no markings. Gran handed it to me with a glass of water and her standard instruction. Swallow it whole, no chewing, no questions. I was 18 years old, and I'd been doing this since first grade. The routine was so ingrained I could have done it in my sleep. Take the pill, wait in the observation room, let them draw blood every 2 hours, report any symptoms, collect the check. Gran collected the check, actually. Always had. She'd open the mail, deposit the money into her account, and tell me I was helping the family, helping science, helping sick people who needed these medications tested before they could be approved. I believed her for the first 8 years. Believed her completely until I was 14, and started
started asking questions that made her face go hard. Questions like why I was the only kid in our neighborhood doing clinical trials, why my school records showed I'd missed 87 days of class over the past 3 years, why I had scars on both arms from IV placements, and why my medical file was thicker than most adults. Gran's answer was always the same. I was special. My body metabolized drugs perfectly. I was what the pharmaceutical companies called an ideal subject. Young enough that my system was clean, old enough to articulate side effects, compliant enough to follow protocols. Exactly. She discovered this when I was 6 and had a reaction to a medication my pediatrician prescribed. Instead of adverse, my body had processed it flawlessly. The doctor had mentioned it casually to Gran, saying some people were just natural metabolizers. Gran had heard opportunity. The trial coordinator at the clinic knew me by name, knew my medical history better than I did. She'd been running me through protocols since I was in 2nd grade, back when I thought the clinic was just another doctor's office and the testing was normal checkups. Her name was Dr. Sienna Voltaire, and she had kind eyes that never quite matched the clinical efficiency of her movements. She'd draw my blood with practiced precision, mark the vials with identification numbers I'd memorized years ago, and ask about school with the detached interest of someone who needed to fill silence but didn't actually care about the answers. This trial was for an anti-anxiety medication she'd explained 2 weeks ago during the intake screening. Phase 2, clinical trials, testing dosage and side effects on healthy subjects before moving to patients with actual anxiety disorders. The pharmaceutical company was paying $3,800 for my participation over 6 weeks. Blood draws twice weekly, daily symptom journals, 3 overnight observation periods, standard protocol. I'd done 17 trials before this one, each one documented in a file that lived in Gran's locked cabinet alongside my birth certificate and social security card. She'd shown me the file once when I was 12, proof that everything was legal and legitimate. Consent forms signed by her as my legal guardian. Medical clearances from Dr. Voltaire. Payment receipts from pharmaceutical companies with names that sounded prestigious and scientific. Everything official. Everything approved. Everything exploiting a loophole that let legal guardians consent to research participation for minors as long as the trials were classified as minimal risk. Gran wasn't my biological grandmother. I learned that when I was 15, digging through her papers while she was at the grocery store. The adoption paperwork showed she'd taken me from foster care when I was 5, right after my mother overdosed and my father disappeared. No one else had wanted me. Gran had been a foster parent for years, cycling through kids, but she'd adopted me specifically. The paperwork stated she was retired, financially stable, and eager to provide a permanent home for a child with no other options. What the paperwork didn't state was that she'd been recruiting for the pharmaceutical industry for 3 decades, that she'd placed dozens of foster children into clinical trials over the years, that I wasn't her first, just her most profitable. I found the spreadsheet on her computer when I was 16, password protected, but not well enough to stop someone who'd been forced to miss school and spend endless hours online. The file was labeled Medical Income 2015-2024, and it detailed every trial, every payment, every child. There were 12 names before mine. Most had participated in 1 or 2 trials before aging out or getting moved to different homes. But then there was my line, spanning 12 years, showing $127,000 in total payments. My body had earned her more than $10,000 per year since 1st grade, more than any other foster child she'd ever recruited. I was her retirement plan, her steady income, her golden asset, and I'd never seen a single dollar. That's when I made the biggest mistake of my life. Full story is linked below or on my channel.
Sienna, new character unlocked. Lol.
What's that one single moment in your life that will stick with you forever? I was 29 when I donated blood outside my office building. Honestly, I wasn't trying to be a hero or anything. My coworkers were all signing up because they gave you free cookies and let you leave 2 hours early. I hate needles, but I hate working more, so I went for it. Week later, my phone rings. It's the Red Cross. The lady says I need to come back for another test. I ask if I'm sick or something. She goes quiet for a second, then says, "No, we just found something unusual and need to confirm it." I couldn't sleep that night. I Googled every disease you can catch from bad blood. I called my mom at like 11 at night and asked what blood type I was as a kid. She laughed and said, "You're O positive, baby. Same as your daddy." I felt stupid for panicking. When I went back, the nurse brought in this older guy with glasses. He ran the test again right in front of me. They kept looking at each other like they were confused. Finally, he clears his throat and says, "You're a B negative." That's extremely rare, but it's also genetically impossible if both your parents are type O. I laughed because I thought he was joking. So the machine messed up. He shook his head. These machines don't make mistakes like that. I drove home in silence. That night I asked my mom again, real casual, "Hey, you sure Dad's O positive?" She sounded annoyed. "Yes, why do you keep asking me that?" I dropped it, but I couldn't stop thinking about it. A few days later, I bought one of those DNA test kits online. I told myself it was just to settle my brain. When the results came back 3 weeks later, I wanted to throw up. The man who raised me wasn't my biological father. My real dad was someone named Richard Callahan. Lives in Florida. I'd never heard that name in my life. The test also showed I had a half-brother named Kevin. He was 31. I sat in my car for an hour just staring at my phone. Then I drove to my parents' house without calling first. My mom was in the kitchen when I walked in. I didn't even say hi. I just pulled up the DNA results on my phone and put it on the counter in front of her. Her face went white. She grabbed the counter like her legs stopped working. "Who is Richard Callahan?" I asked. She started crying immediately. My dad came into the room asking what was going on. She looked at him, then back at me, and just fell apart. She told me everything. She had an affair in the early 90s with a guy from her office. It went on for over a year. She was planning to leave my dad for him. Then she got pregnant with me. When she told Richard, he disappeared, quit his job, changed his number, ghosted her completely. So she stayed with my dad and never told him. He raised me thinking I was his. My dad stood there the whole time, not saying a word. When she finished talking, he looked at me with this blank expression and said, "I need some air." Then he walked out the front door. I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I just felt numb. I went home, blocked my mom's number, and didn't talk to her for 2 months. I ended up reaching out to Kevin through the DNA site. We met for coffee a few weeks later. He looked like me. Same nose, same hands. It was creepy. He told me our dad, Richard, had been married 3 times and had 2 other kids he barely talked to. Kevin said he was a selfish guy who only cared about himself. I never contacted Richard. I didn't want to. Knowing he existed was enough. My dad, the one who raised me, finally called me one night. He said, "You're still my son. I don't care what some test says." I cried for the first time since I found out. But every time I look in the mirror now, you want to claim my answers as your own? Okay. So back in 10th grade, this new kid showed up and instantly joined the group of guys who thought picking on me was peak comedy. I was the quiet kid who kept to myself, read during lunch, wore the same 3 hoodies on rotation. First week he's there, we're standing outside before first period, and he looks down at my shoes. They're just regular Nikes, nothing special, probably $30 at the outlet store. He goes, "Bro, those shoes are trash. Mine cost like 5 times what yours did." I look at his feet. The dude's wearing these clear plastic sneakers where you can literally see his socks through the top. They look like something a cartoon character would wear. "Okay," I said, "because what else do you say to that?" He kept going. "Yeah, man, these are designer. You'd have to buy like 5 pairs of yours to equal what I paid." My parents raised me to not waste money on dumb stuff, so I just shrugged and walked inside. But I'm thinking, why would anyone pay that much for shoes you can't even wear in winter? 3 days later, we have a Friday night football game. It's November, cold as hell, and this kid shows up in those same plastic shoes. Halfway through the second quarter, I hear someone laughing and pointing. I look over and dude's shoes have literally cracked down the sides from the cold, like split open. He's trying to hold them together with his hands, but they're done. He had to leave early. I didn't say anything, but yeah, I noticed. Fast forward to history class about a week after that. Our teacher, Mrs. Howard, decides we're playing this review game for the upcoming test. She splits the class into 2 teams, and the game works like this. One person from each team goes up to the whiteboard, she asks a question, and whoever writes the correct answer first gets a point for their team. 3 questions per round, then new people go up. My turn comes up, and guess who my opponent is? Clear shoe guy. Of course. Mrs. Howard asks the first question. Something about the Civil War, I think. I'm not totally sure of the answer, but I have a guess, so I start writing. He's writing too, fast and messy. I finish first and step back. He looks at what I wrote, then immediately points at my board and shouts out my answer like he wrote it. Mrs. Howard checks both boards. "Both wrong." The class groans. His handwriting was so bad you couldn't even read what he put anyway. Second question. Same thing happens. I write something, finish first, step back. He points at mine again and yells out my answer before I can say anything. "Still wrong," Mrs. Howard says. Now I'm starting to catch on. This dude doesn't know the answers. He's just waiting to see what I write and then stealing it. Third question comes. Final chance to get a point. Mrs. Howard asks something about the Declaration of Independence. I genuinely don't know this one, but then I get an idea. I go, "Oh," real loud, like I just figured it out. I start writing on the board super fast, like I'm excited about my answer. Big letters, clear and easy to read. I step back. He doesn't even bother writing anything on his board. Just points straight at mine and reads it out loud. "Stupid! Hey!" The entire class loses it. Kids are laughing so hard some of them are crying. Mrs. Howard is trying to keep a straight face and tell me that wasn't appropriate, but she's literally covering her mouth to hide her smile. Her shoulders are shaking. The kid's face goes bright red. He throws the marker down and storms back to his seat. People are still cracking up when the next pair goes up to the board. My team ended up losing the game overall, but honestly, felt like I won that day. You want to claim my answers?
Damn.
I tried to send my dad to jail for what he did to my best friend. My friend Jackie is one of maybe 6 black students in our entire grade of 300 kids. We start eating lunch together junior year, and she tells me about taking 2 buses to get here every morning while kids in our parking lot complain about getting last year's model car. I start noticing things I never saw before, like how security follows her around in school, but never me. How people ask where she's really from, even though she was born 20 minutes away. A few weeks later, I invite Jackie over for a hangout. Both my parents say yes. My mom even leaves us money for takeout. Dad mentions he'll be working late, and mom's at her sister's house, so it's just us. Jackie shows up with this huge smile and a bunch of grocery bags saying, "I thought we could make pizza from scratch." The night is going so nice as we're rolling out dough and she gets flour on her nose and I'm laughing so hard I can barely breathe. Then she flicks tomato sauce at me, just a tiny bit on my shirt. I grab a handful of shredded cheese and throw it at her. Next thing I know, we're in a full-on food fight, throwing handfuls of mozzarella at each other. There's dough stuck to the cabinet, sauce dripping down the walls, and we're both laughing so hard we're crying. She's got cheese in her hair and sauce smeared across her cheek and forehead, and she looks so beautiful I can't stand it. We both stop laughing at the same time and just stare at each other. My heart's pounding so loud I swear she can hear it. Then she steps closer and I step closer and we're kissing. My brain's going a million miles an hour like, oh my god, this is happening. She pulls back, grins, and says, "Took you long enough." I'm about to kiss her again when we hear keys jingling in the front door. It's way too early. Dad's not supposed to be home for another 3 hours. Jackie's still covered in pizza ingredients, sauce smeared on her face and arms, and she says, "I should probably wash this off before your dad sees me like this." She's laughing as she walks toward the living room to get to the bathroom. I'm standing in the kitchen trying to catch my breath, touching my lips, still tasting the kiss, when I hear the front door open, and then there's this bang that makes my ears ring. Suddenly I can't breathe. I'm running before I even know what I'm doing, my feet moving on their own. I burst into the living room and I see my dad standing there with both arms extended, his service weapon in his hands, smoke coming from the barrel. Jackie's on the ground, motionless, near the couch. I'm screaming and drop to my knees next to her, pressing my hands against the wound. My dad's yelling, "Get back, get away from her. She broke in." He tries to pull me away, but I shove him so hard he stumbles back. "This is my friend," I scream at him. "I told you she was coming over. I told Mom. We made pizza." His face goes completely white. He stares at her, really looks at her for the first time, sees the pizza sauce on her face and the flour on her clothes and the cheese in her hair. He whispers, "I didn't know. I thought she was an intruder. She didn't look like she belonged here." I grab my phone and dial 911. My dad lunges forward and tries to take my phone from me, but I hold it away and look him dead in the eyes. "Dad, she's dying." He freezes, just stands there shaking. The operator's asking me questions and I'm answering, but I can't stop staring at my friend. The officers arrive first, and when they see my dad, their whole faces light up. "Hey, you okay, man? We got a call about shots fired." They're looking around for the threat, hands on their weapons. Then the ambulance pulls up and this EMT runs over saying, "How many wounded?" When he sees my friend on the ground, he makes this sound like someone ripped out his spine. "Jackie? What? Why are you here?" I recognize him from family photos Jackie showed me. The EMT is Jackie's father. He drops next to her, his hands moving fast, working to save her life, but tears are streaming down his face. He looks up at my dad, and the pure hatred in his eyes makes me flinch. "You shot my daughter. You shot my baby girl because of what? Because she's black and covered in food and you thought she was a criminal?" He's spitting the words while his hands keep working, keep fighting to save her. The officers are looking at my dad now, really looking, and I see the exact moment they understand. One of them asks, "What did you do?" My dad's crying now, saying, "I didn't know. I just reacted. I didn't know." But the other officers shake their heads, clearly disgusted. My dad looks at me. "Please tell them it was a mistake." My voice comes out flat and dead. "I'm testifying against you." His face crumbles. "You'd do that to your own father?" The officers read him his rights while Jackie's dad loads her into the ambulance. My dad got life in prison. My friend survived, but she transferred schools and we don't talk anymore. I tried to send my dad to jail for what he did to my best friend. My friend Jackie is one of maybe 6 black students in our—
Bitch, you kissed him.
What's that school rule you hated the most? My school had this insane group punishment policy where if one person messed up, the entire class got detention. I thought it was stupid until it backfired spectacularly on them. It was finals week and our notorious substitute Mr. Miles was covering math class. This guy lived to make students miserable. He'd already written up 3 kids for breathing too loud. Someone's phone buzzed during his lecture, just once. Miles's face turned red and he slammed his book down so hard it cracked. "That's it. Everyone stays after school for detention. Someone will confess or you all suffer." Jake tried explaining he had a doctor's appointment. Miles cut him off. "I don't care if your house is burning down. You're staying." He locked the classroom door and pocketed the key. Posted a note outside saying, "Detention in progress. Do not disturb." Miles sat at his desk playing solitaire while 32 kids stared at the clock. 2 hours passed. Kids were texting parents frantically. "Put those phones away or I'll add another hour," Miles barked. Emma raised her hand. "My mom's outside waiting. Can I at least tell her?" "Should have thought about that before someone disrupted my class." Lisa asked to use the bathroom. Denied. "This is insane," I muttered. "What was that?" Miles stood up, pointing at me. "Congratulations. You just earned everyone an extra 30 minutes. The class turned on me with the death glares. But here's what Miles didn't know. My mom was the district superintendent. She was probably wondering why I wasn't home yet. At 6 p.m., Miles finally unlocked the door. "Maybe next time you'll think twice about disrupting class." Parents were livid in the parking lot. Cars everywhere. Honking. Mothers marching toward the building. The principal's car was gone. He'd fled. I got in my mom's car. She was already on the phone with someone. "What happened?" she asked, hanging up. I explained everything. Miles locking us in, refusing bathroom breaks, adding time for speaking, threatening kids who tried to leave. Her expression changed completely. She grabbed her laptop from the back seat and started typing furiously while driving. "Call every parent in your class. Get their numbers now." I started texting frantically. Within minutes, my phone was exploding with angry parent responses. "Conference call tonight, 8 p.m., Mom said, already dialing the school board president. By 9 p.m., she had statements from all 32 families. Documentation of Miles's threats. Timeline of events. She was building a case like a prosecutor. The next morning, I walked into school expecting normal chaos. Instead, the hallways were eerily quiet. Only half my friends were there. I checked the math classroom. Empty. Miles was standing there confused, checking his attendance sheets. "Where is everyone?" he asked the remaining students. We shrugged. Nobody talked. By second period, more kids disappeared. Parents kept calling them out sick. Miles was getting frantic, running between classrooms, asking other teachers what was happening. The principal tried calling parents. Same response every time. "My child has a stomach bug. They'll return when they feel better." Miles started panicking. He knew something was wrong, but couldn't figure out what. Lunch period hit. The cafeteria was practically empty. Only 12 kids in the entire school showed up for
afternoon classes. That's when 3 black SUVs pulled into the parking lot. School board members stepped out, followed by my mom in her official superintendent blazer. Miles saw them through the window. He started gathering his things. Security guards entered the building. Mr. Miles, you need to come with us. What's this about? He stammered. Unlawful detention of minors, denial of basic needs, abuse of authority. The few remaining students watched through doorways as Miles was escorted down the hallway. The next morning, the principal called an emergency assembly. Effective immediately, the principal announced. Group punishment policies are banned in this district. What's that school rule you hated the most? My school...
What's the craziest thing you've witnessed at a family gathering? It was my grandma Lydia's 88th birthday. My whole family rented this small lodge up in the mountains for the weekend. And I mean everyone showed up. Cousins I hadn't seen in years, my uncle's new girlfriend, even my aunt's weird husband who nobody really talks to. The plan was simple. Eat dinner, then go around the table sharing nice memories about Lydia. Pretty standard birthday stuff. Dinner was going fine. My mom made this huge lasagna. There was garlic bread everywhere, and someone brought like 3 bottles of wine. People were laughing, kids were running around being loud, and Lydia was just sitting at the head of the table smiling. She looked happy. Then halfway through dinner, Lydia stood up. She's 88, so when she stands, everyone notices. The whole room went quiet. She tapped her glass with a fork and said, "I need everyone's attention, please." We all thought she was going to give some sweet speech about family and love and whatever. My aunt even started tearing up already. But then Lydia reached into her cardigan pocket and pulled out this little black notebook, the kind you get at the dollar store. She opened it slowly and said, "I just want to tell the truth before I go." My Uncle Nate laughed nervously and said, "Mom, what are you talking about?" Lydia ignored him. She looked down at her notebook and started reading, out loud, in front of everyone. "Nathan," she said, looking right at my uncle, "your second son isn't yours. Angela cheated on you in 2003 with someone from her gym. I've known for 15 years. The room went completely silent. You could hear the fireplace crackling. My uncle's face went pale. His wife Angela stood up so fast her chair fell over. She grabbed her purse and just left. Didn't say a word. Just walked out the door. But Lydia wasn't done. She flipped a page and kept going. "Joanne," she said, looking at my aunt, "you stole $4,000 from my savings account in 2011. You said you needed it for your daughter's surgery, but you used it to pay off your boyfriend's gambling debt. I have the bank statements." My Aunt Jo started crying immediately. She tried to say something, but nothing came out. Her husband just stared at her like he'd never seen her before. Lydia kept reading. She told my cousin Brett that she knew he dropped out of college 2 years ago, but kept taking tuition money from his parents and spent it on a motorcycle. She told my other cousin that she saw her stealing jewelry from Lydia's bedroom last Christmas. She even called out my uncle's girlfriend for lying about her age. Said she was 47, not 34. People started yelling. Someone threw a wine glass and it shattered on the floor. My cousin Brett grabbed his jacket and stormed out. His mom was screaming at him through the window. My Aunt Jo locked herself in the bathroom. Kids were crying because the adults were crying. And Lydia just kept reading from her notebook, calm as anything. My dad finally stood up and said, "Mom, what the hell are you doing?" Lydia looked up at him and said, "I'm 88 years old. I'm not gonna die with all these secrets sitting on my chest." Someone asked her how she even knew all this stuff. She closed her notebook, smiled, and said, "I'm old, not blind. You all think I'm just sitting in my chair doing nothing. I see."
I finally got it to turn back on. Funny thing is, it's at the same battery my phone's at. So, that's really funny, huh? So this downloaded. About fucking time. I'm gonna be honest, I kind of forgot how to play. Lick. I used to love this intro. Bro, what the hell? Double 11. Love that brand. I haven't played this game in so long. I kind of forgot how to play. Where's my child? Child! Give me a second. See this? No, get over here. Bad child. Now move, that's my spot. I'm back. No, child, you stay over here. Alright. I don't remember where I need to go. I kind of forgot how to play, so like I don't know how to do this that well. Not gonna lie, I like this game. My child is right there, just chilling as I'm playing. And I'm loving life right here. She just almost chewed up one of my undies. I'm gonna go kill my dog soon.
Gauntlet of Gales waits for heroes who will enter the sanctum and complete the challenges within. Will you try to best the power of the wind?
No, not really.
Do you find yourself blown away by the challenge?
I'll blow away. I'll be blown away, trust me. How do I... Okay. So I need to figure out where to go from now on. Oh, hi, Fox.
They're doing nothing. I see everything for 20 minutes straight.
Shit. How did that happen? Shit, I don't know how that happened. Wait, let me fix my posture. Shit. I didn't need to drink that healing potion. What the fuck? Hi, Foxy. Come on, let's go. Where to go from now? Okay, so we somehow need to go up there, I think. Dog. Pass the test. Gentle breed. Okay, hi. Go, 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 go. Ouch. Is this goat like forever after me or something? Go, 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 go! Stop attacking me! Give me the heal. Give me the heal. Give me the heal. Heal, heal, heal. No! Bro, that goat hates me. I will kill you, dog. Oh, shut up, goat. Ooh, TNT. Oh, shit. There we go. I believe I can die. Shit, I just wasted ammo. Shit. Oh no. Oh god. Goat, 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 goat. Bye bye, goat. How do I restock? How do I restock on arrows? Shit. Okay, I figured out how to do the it's A. I'm gonna wait till my till this thing loads in. Okay, so good to know that I have range. There we go. We're good now. Which way? I'm gonna go this way. Come here, boy. The fuck was that? Does that count? Did I do it? No, I gotta get this lit up. Right? No, I'm gonna go the other way. Oh. I realize what I did now. Alright, I just realized what I did. Come on, give me some arrows. Nope. What are you? Highland cow? I like Highland cows. Shit, I'm out of arrows. Shit. Oh shit. Go, 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 go. Go, 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 fuck, go, go, go. Heal, 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 heal. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Oh shit, no. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? I don't know where he is. I don't really care to find out. How do I get arrows? Oh, he's up there. So wait, the hitbox was wrong, alright. The hitbox was off. Go here. Where has he gone? Come here, boy. I'm ready to run away. What if I can't? What if I need to? Come here, boy. Oh, that was easy. That was a 3-hit. How is this thing low battery? And I'm stuck. Nope, never mind, I'm not. Bro, I wish you could just like jump in this game. Like, wee. There we go. Shit. No. I'm trying to get this into the camera viewer. Is this thing even recording? It's just my angle, actually. Veronica! Give me a second. My only pair. What is wrong with you, child? Come here. Come here, child. Come here. Yeah, good. Good girl. You're still my least favorite kid. But at least you're good at snuggling. At least you're okay at snuggling, actually. Hey, I found a better camera angle. I'm the constant main. I need to get rid of you. Come here. I need to get rid of you. You dare hit me? Oh shit. It would be really nice to have some arrows right now. Oh shit. I'm gonna die. Oh, I revived? Oh yeah. And I got my arrows back. Last chance. Sorry guys, I can't screen record this. But I'll do my best. Can I get back in? Shit, no you don't. What the fuck? How the fuck did that happen? What if I just like walk away or something? Yeah, that's a better angle. This is a better camera angle. Alright now, let me in. You dare hit the great and mighty Whitney. Not very great and mighty. Wow, so fun. Not the boss battle music playing. Child dog thing. Child. Veronica. Come here. Wait, am I finally able to get back in? Sweet, bro. Damn. No, bro, you can't hit me. No, bro, can't hit me. No, bro, can't hit me. Guys, I'm sorry. I kind of suck at recording. No, bro, can't hit me. I kind of suck at screen recording on my phone, not gonna lie. Man, that's gonna suck. No, bro, can't hit me. How do I get in, bro? How do I get in? Oh, there's a pressure plate. Wait a goddamn fucking minute. What if I just like walk over it? Oh, there's another pressure plate. It's like a puzzle. I suck at holding my phone. Yeah. It's fine, bro.